Keeping up with the motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure. Here we are with the remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning, students. TVM welcomes all the students of class 10 for this English session. So here, what do we see in this picture, students? The world's most spectacular natural wonders and man-made structures. These sites are protected and maintained by the International World Heritage Program, administered by the UNESCO World Heritage Committee. UNESCO, an acronym for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, specialized agency of the United Nations, that is UN, was outlined in a constitution signed November 16, 1945. These places add character and distinctiveness to the area. They create a sense of place for a community. These structures are an important factor in creating sustainable communities. These places are an excellent local educational resources for people of all ages. These are heritage. Heritage. Let's check the meaning. Heritage means features belonging to the culture of a particular society, such as traditions, languages, or buildings that were created in the past and still have historical importance. A World Heritage Site is a landmark or area selected by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO, for having cultural, historical, scientific or other form of significance. Cultural heritage is the legacy of physical artifacts and intangible attributes of a group or society that are inherited from past generations, maintained in the present, and bestowed for the benefit of future generations. Let's check the cycle of heritage. So it all starts with understanding the heritage. By understanding, only we will be able to value, and by valuing, we will want to care for our heritage. And when we care, the caring will help people enjoy the heritage, and from enjoying will come a thirst to understand our heritage. So, this is the cycle of the heritage. Heritage is of two types: world heritage and cultural heritage. We'll start with the chapter number 4.3, page number 159 of the textbook, World Heritage, and we'll know more about World Heritage. A World Heritage Site is a landmark or area selected by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization for having cultural, historical, scientific or other form of significance which is legally protected by international treaties. The sites are judged to possess cultural and natural heritage around the world considered to be of outstanding value to humanity. Criteria. So, on what basis a structure can be selected for World Heritage Site? So, to be selected, a World Heritage Site must be a landmark unique in some respect as a geographically and historically identifiable place having special cultural or physical significance. For example, World Heritage Sites might be ancient ruins or historical structures, buildings, cities, deserts, forests, islands, lakes, monuments, mountains, or wilderness areas. A World Heritage Site may signify a remarkable accomplishment of humanity and serve as evidence of our intellectual history on the planet, or it might be a place of great natural beauty. As of June 2020, a total of 1,121 World Heritage Sites, out of these 869 cultural, 213 natural, and 39 mixed properties, exist across 167 countries. The top three of countries with most sites are China, Italy, both with 55 sites, and Spain with 48. Now we'll see the history of World Heritage Sites. Although the idea of protecting cultural and natural heritage sites around the world began in the early 20th century, momentum for its actual creation was not until the 1950s. So it all started in 1954 with the plans to build Aswan High Dam. What do we come to know through the textbook? That in 1954, Egypt started plans to build the Aswan High Dam to collect and control water from the Nile River. The initial plan for the dam's construction would have flooded the valley containing the Abu Simbel temples and scores of ancient Egyptian artifacts. To protect the temple and the artifacts, it was done. That is, in 1959, UNESCO launched an international program that called for the dismantling and movement of the temples to higher ground. The project cost an estimated 80 million US dollar, 40 million of which came from 50 different countries. Because of the project's success, UNESCO and the International Council on Monuments and Sites initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. Shortly thereafter, in 1965, a White House conference in the United States called for a World Heritage Trust to protect historic cultural sites but to also protect the world's significant natural and scenic sites. And finally, in 1968, the International Union for Conservation of Nature developed similar goals and presented them at the United Nations Conference on Human Environment in Stockholm, Sweden. And then finally in 1972, Following the presentation of these goals, the Convention concerning the protection of world cultural and natural heritage was adopted by UNESCO's General Conference on November 16, 1972. So this is all we know about the history of World Heritage Sites, how it all started. Now we'll know about the World Heritage Committee. It is the main group responsible for establishing which sites will be listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The committee meets once a year. It consists of representatives from 21 state parties that are elected for 6-year terms by the World Heritage Center's General Assembly. The state parties are then responsible for identifying and nominating new sites within their territory to be considered for inclusion on the World Heritage List. Now, the necessary steps to become a World Heritage Site. What does it take? So, there is a list. So, it starts with first, take an inventory of its significant cultural and natural sites, that is, tentative list. It is the first step out of 5. Tentative list is important because nominations to the World Heritage List will not be considered unless the nominated site was first included on the tentative list. The second, countries able to select sites from tentative list to be included in nomination file. The third is review of nomination file by 2 advisory bodies. The International Council on Monuments and Sites and the World Conservation Union. And these two bodies make recommendation to the World Heritage Committee. The next step is the World Heritage Committee reviews the recommendation of the advisory bodies and decides which sites are to be added. And then the final step, finding out whether the nominated sites meet at least one of the 10 criteria. Now, if the site meets these criteria, it can then be inscribed on the World Heritage List. Once a site goes through this process and is chosen, it remains the property of the country on whose territory it sits, but it also becomes considered within the international community. As of 2009, there are 890 World Heritage Sites that are located in 148 countries. So this fact is according to the book. In the previous slide, we came to know about the current scenario. Now we'll come to know about types of World Heritage Sites. There are 3: cultural, which is 689, natural 176, and the third is mixed, that is 25, all around the world. We have examples as well of all the 3 types: cultural, Sydney Opera House in Australia and Historic Center of Vienna in Austria; natural, Yellowstone and Grand Canyon National Park in the US; and mixed is Machu Picchu in Peru. So we'll have few facts. Italy has the highest number of World Heritage Sites, that is 44. India has 36 in total, that is 28 cultural, 7 natural, and 1 mixed World Heritage Sites. The World Heritage Committee has divided the world's countries into 5 geographic zones, which include Africa, Arab states, Asia Pacific, including Australia and Oceania, Europe and North America, and Latin America and the Caribbean. Now, reasons of the World Heritage Sites being in danger. Like many natural and historic cultural sites around the world, many World Heritage Sites are in danger of being destroyed or lost. So, the possible reasons are war, poaching, natural disasters, uncontrolled urbanization, heavy tourist traffic, and environmental factors such as pollution, acid rain. So, these are the reasons, or we can say factors, for the World Heritage Sites being in danger. World Heritage Sites that are in danger are inscribed on a separate list of World Heritage Sites in danger, which allows the World Heritage Committee to allocate resources from the World Heritage Fund to that site. In addition, different plans are put into place to protect and restore the site. If, however, a site loses the characteristics which allowed for it to be originally included on the World Heritage List, the World Heritage Committee can choose to delete the site from the list. To learn more about World Heritage Sites, you can visit this website, that is whc.unesco.org. So here are few ways to preserve World Heritage Sites, that is trespassing to be prohibited, threat of local administrative negligence to be removed, prevent ourselves and others from scribbling on the walls, participating in the regular cleanliness drives, being a part of the Adopt a Heritage initiative, and spreading awareness around about these monuments and their importance. So, what lesson do we learn from this text, which is about various facts about heritage sites? So, students, heritage is an important community asset we should be proud of and at the same time be protective about. So, let's start it from our family and gradually move to area, city, country, and then the world. So, the lesson learned or the value taken from this text is to be proud of our identity. In order to be appreciated, we must improve ourselves. Nurture yourself, enhance, and that is how you will always be appreciated and remembered. Here are few words from the text with their meanings. Few textual questions with the answers. You can take screenshot of. Uh, in the slides, as you check, you will come to know most of the answers of the textual questions have been covered through the points that are there in the slides. So these are few questions along with the answer. So the session comes to an end. Focus on the good students. Thank you. Take care.